All right, what's up, The War Within? It's me, Corey. How you guys doing today? I'm here with Oscar Kush. He's a good buddy of mine. We've been talking about podcasting for a little while now, and I kind of lit a little bit of a wildfire under his ass last night. So he hit me up first thing this morning. He's like, "Hey, dude, let's shoot a podcast." So here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Let's
Absolutely. Do it. So day 2, podcast number 2, and like I said in the introduction, I think one of the biggest things I want to do is just sit down and talk with veterans and see what they're going through and see what they faced and just the direction they want to go in life. So it's good to hear where you're going. It's good to see what's going on with you. Man, we had a lot of talk before even hopping on the camera about just where life has taken us and the direction it's going and where we want to go with it and dealing with all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, shit, where are you at right now, man? Let us know where you're at.
Man, I don't know, but life is crazy, I'm 26. I live in San Diego. I got Carl, my baby boy.
Yep.
I love that dog. My family all lives back at home. That's tough. I've lived on my own since I was, 18 now?
Yeah.
So that's...
Jesus.
I'm at 8 years. I've been away from my family. It gets tough, but I know I'm out here doing good things. I work at the airport. It's a good job. We get to travel for free. That's the only reason I work there.
For sure. Well, let me ask you one thing. So, one of the biggest things I want to get into for, in discussing this stuff is it's hard to get on here, especially, and it's hard for other Marines to realize, or I don't even want to say Marines, I want to say other veterans. But the big thing is going through the dark parts, man. Going through the dark parts. You heard what I wrote, or you heard what I spoke about yesterday, and just having hit rock bottom and having some issues with that, and having thoughts of suicide and depression and stuff. What for you? I guess I want to ask. What for you happened? What was kind of your moment where you realized, man, shit in life is not going the direction that I wanted it to go?
Oh man,
Sorry to hit you with the baseball bat first thing, but
no, you're good. You're good. Depression's a fucking tricky bitch, man. It's not easy. I deal with it. I've dealt with it for years. For me, I got out of the military. I was high and proud, loved it. When I got out, I did not love it. I was glad to get out.
For sure.
Yeah, I was excited.
Sure.
I was like,
You were excited to get out of the military and move on to a new chapter.
Yeah, I could be free,
yeah.
To more of an extent. So as soon as I got out, I got back into school, saved my money, backpacked through Europe. And everything was great.
Dude, where'd you go in Europe? What'd you do?
Man, I went I booked this flight probably 6 months out. Got the cheapest flight I could. Went through Russia. Nobody wants to go to Russia. I like Russia, but nobody wants to go there.
Yeah,
It's just the truth.
Yeah.
So the flight was probably $700, which I've paid that much to go to Chicago,
right.
For the holidays.
Absolutely.
So to go to Italy is where I was flying, Rome. I had to go through Moscow. So I did that. I booked it. So I flew from LAX to Moscow, Russia. And on the way there, I tried to get in, but didn't have a visa or whatever, but I filed the paperwork the next time I went because on the way back I'd have to go through there.
Okay.
So then I just hung out in the airport for 24 hours before I left for Italy. And then I went to Rome, and I did this all on my own. Mm-hmm. This was a big test for me, and that I wanted to do, and I really enjoyed traveling alone. Is something I think everybody should do. Every person. Yeah,
definitely. There's some craziness in traveling where you're just kind of throwing everything out into the universe, and you're just I hope it all fucking lands. You know what I'm saying? It's a true test of building character, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're in a fucking foreign land. You don't know who's going to be able to speak English. You really escape the comfort zone that you're here in right now. It's just we just went and grabbed fucking coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like, we hopped in our car, we drove, we understand all the street rules and everything like that. We understand kind of like the nuances of our society. And then we also realize that when I go there, I'm going to be able to say, fucking venti iced Americano with whatever. And it's going to get made and show up like 2 minutes later, and they're going to take my money. Traveling like to wherever, that disrupts every bit of that pattern.
You don't know shit.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't know nothing about what you're about to do.
Absolutely.
And like, I'll be honest, I had no fucking plan. I was like, I went to the Western Conference Finals the night before. The Blackhawks were playing the Ducks. It was Game 7, and we won. We beat them 3-1, 2-1, or something like that. We won. I literally came home, packed my bag, didn't have a plan, nothing. Packed my bag, didn't even sleep. Got on the plane to Russia. Later, the next day, my buddy Charles drove me. Got on the plane to Russia, slept the whole way, woke up, there I was. Like, I didn't plan, like, what I was going to do until, like, I was in Moscow, and I'm like, all right, let's see what there is to do in Rome.
Shit.
And then I, like, looked up points of interest. I always do that when I travel somewhere. I go to Google. Yeah. I type in points of interest in the place I'm going to. And it's crazy, the coolest shit you find. I went to Rome. From Rome, I went to Barcelona. Met some friends, actually, I knew from back home out there. We were in Barcelona right after Barcelona had won the Champions League final. That was the craziest night ever. I was in the club till the sun came on.
Yeah, for sure.
It was insane. It was one of the craziest nights of my life, one of the best nights of my life, but we'll go on about that later. Paris. I went to Paris. Paris was cool. They didn't really like me. I didn't feel like.
I've heard that all over. French are just a bunch
but that's
cons.
okay. I mean, I don't really like tourists either. So I can respect that. But then London. I went to London. Man, I love London. Oh, London is fantastic. Expensive, but great. In London, we went to Amsterdam. Amsterdam is crazy. But I love it. It's small. You can walk everywhere. You can ride a bike. You don't need a car in a place like that. Everyone's real friendly. Speaks English. Great. Went to Germany. Actually, I met a girl from Germany in San Diego.
Yeah.
And years ago. But we still maintain contact.
So did you link up with her out there?
So I ended up linking up with her, seeing her. She showed me around. It was cool. Then from there, I hopped on a bus. And I went to one of my homelands. I'm Bohemian, which is now the Czech Republic.
Oh, shit.
So I went to Prague. I've been to Thailand. I've been to Australia. I've been all over the world. And Prague, for me, is the best place I've ever been to.
Really?
And, it's weird. People go places and, they see their heritage or whatever, and they have this connection. And I mean, to in a way, I had an extent with certain, other cultures. I'm Mexican, Polish, Norwegian, and Bohemian. And my grandma used to always say that. Polish, Norwegian, Bohemian. I'm like, yes, Grandma, got it. And rest her soul, I love that woman. But, yeah, so I went there, and that was the time I'm like looking around like, well, this is weird. I feel like, why do I feel such a weird connection with this place? And it was cool. It was a good time. I loved it. I loved Europe. Going, like I said, I met so many people. You have to go out. You have to meet people when you're traveling alone.
Right.
And it was so easy. It's weird how easy it was for me to meet people there and how hard it is to do it here. You try to talk to somebody here in the United States, it's like you're fucking crazy. They look at you like you're a fucking asshole.
I was just going to bring that up too. It's kind of like, it does seem like it's so difficult here, especially after getting out of the military or even like coming back from deployments.
Yeah.
I feel like it's harder and harder to really associate with this society. And like there's some kind of freedom in going and traveling and meeting these new people and being part of a different society where it's like, I don't know, it kind of feeds that part of your soul. It's so weird that like your home is really like a foreign place, and then you go to a foreign place and that's really your home. There's something about that. I'm still trying to chew on how and why that occurs.
No, I mean, I agree. I've been to more countries than I have been states. And, it's like weird how like I said, all the countries you meet people, it's so easy to talk to them, and they treat you like your family. And then it's like, here, it's like, it's just weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's just weird.
I'd say it's a part of our culture for sure, too, where we're not very intimate. We're just we're so busy.
I mean, people don't even want to have phone calls anymore. I have a phone. I call someone on the phone. They think I'm dying or something. I can't just call. I try to FaceTime someone. I mean, except for a few given people, Danny Johnson, I love you, but most people I try to FaceTime. Why are you FaceTiming me? It's like, I want to see you. This is technology, man. We're living in the future. Let me,
we're supposed to be connecting more, and
I hate text message. I used to love it when I was younger. All I'd be is texting. People make fun of me all the time for just being on my phone texting. Now I don't know. I hate text. Call me on the phone. That's it. I don't.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So you went to Europe for a little while.
Yeah.
Kind of just to get away, start things over, dude. I'll tell you one thing. That's one of my biggest, I don't know if I want to call it a regret, but it's definitely one of my biggest dreams right now is like, I do want to go and do that. Once I gain some more money, dude, I want to fucking just jet out there and go and travel Europe and just see it. I mean, I've been to pretty much almost everywhere else, let's say, besides like Africa. And one thing I really liked is the fact that you're like, I want to go see Russia. I want to fucking go see Russia too. I'd love to go see the fucking tundra, dude. I'd love to go and experience Siberia. Just to like 2 or 3 days, like, damn. Like, I understand this vastness. I understand this part of nature. Like, this is fucking wild. And even know, like, there are people there that fucking live in Siberia, in the Siberian tundra.
Yeah, there's some bad motherfuckers.
Like, that's what I'm fucking talking about, dude. Like, you gotta realize, like, these people are fucking awesome.
That's why the Russian fighters are so tough, man.
I agree, man.
I mean, I showed the conditioning coach, Dimitri, man. He's the craziest. Well, I'd follow that man into hell and back. No doubt.
So you're talking about your strength and conditioning coach, who is?
Dimitri Satov. He's a fucking bad motherfucker. Look him up.
What's his story?
Kettlebell world champ from Russia.
Oh, damn.
Lives in San Diego. He loves veterans, man. He's super good with that, and I really enjoy that about him. And he's tough, man. He never tells me I'm doing good, and that's what I need.
For sure.
He keeps me humble always, and right now I feel as strong as I've ever felt, and I'm only just beginning.
Hell yeah.
He says, "You're still a kid. You're 26. You're a kid. You're not a man yet."
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, I'm trying to be like those guys. I mean, I want to be the toughest, strongest, biggest man I can, because I'm going to make a run at this fighting shit,
Dude, that reminds me of, do you ever see the show, The OA on Netflix?
No, I don't think I've seen
dude,
it.
you got to. I love that show. It was fucking wild. Very, like, kind of, they had some pretty gnarly spiritual elements to it that I thought were awesome. But the premise is this girl, she's originally from Russia, right?
Yeah.
And her father's like this baron. He's like this tycoon, right? Pretty high level dude. And I think what ends up happening is, people start coming after him. So he tries to send his daughter out. But so they're originally from Russia. She's this Russian baron, like hard motherfucker. And like that's how he starts to raise her. Like she's this young, like cute princessy type of like blonde girl. And I forgot the exact instance, but he was trying to teach her a lesson about toughening up, and he brings her to this fucking lake in the middle of winter. So it's like this frozen pond, and he like makes her like in her dress like go into the water and like embrace the cold, and like embrace how like miserable she is, and like until she sat there and just like chilled out and was like, I got this. Then he let her out of the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he wasn't doing it like I don't know. He did it in a very awesome like mentor way of like, I'm teaching you a lesson. I'm not trying to abuse you. I'm just trying to teach you a lesson to toughen you up. And it was just like, fuck, man, that's some hard shit. That's something like I think that we are missing big time in this culture now in America, where we're just trying to allow everybody in the world to live this just comfortable, like easy access to everything, like no struggle. Man, that's what we were talking about earlier today, man. Like struggle, dude. But we don't embrace struggle anymore in this society as though it's a tool for growth. We embrace struggle as though it's like beneath us.
Well, I mean, I agree. And a lot of that has to do with, social media.
For sure.
You know, like people paint, like you know how easy it is to manipulate people to think your life is great on like Facebook.
Absolutely.
But you know, you could easily be miserable.
For sure.
You can manipulate.
Well,
people.
I would even challenge to say that,
And that
almost all those people
time.
are miserable. I would say that almost all those people are miserable, and they're just selling this lie of like this fabricated lifestyle.
And it happens all the time. I mean, and it's like, but it's just like, I don't know, man. It's weird.
It's crazy.
It's a crazy thing.
We're living. It's just like what we were just talking about earlier too. It's this. I don't want to call it a dichotomy. I want to call it more of like a. Man, I'm spacing on the word right now. But either way, the Dalai Lama at one point said something about the way that we live our lives in America. You know, we have all this technology to bring us closer, yet we're so far away. Then we have all this technology to show us how to live a better life, but in reality, what it's teaching us is to just live this comfortable, sluggish life with no growth. It's to the point that we are legitimately becoming zombies. I like to call us worms now. We're becoming spineless. We're becoming just super soft. You know, we have no toughness to us anymore. We think that the evolution of mankind should be us becoming these like asexual, spineless creatures with no gender or whatever. And it's like, dude, that's not evolution. Like that's us digressing down the species into becoming a worm. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want to be a worm?
No.
Like, I don't respect worms whatsoever, dude. I put worms on the end of a fucking hook and I put it, you know, I'm trying to catch a fucking big ass bass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to become a worm. And, yeah, man. I mean, if I could shape reality, if I could shape our future, I think what you're talking about right now, bringing it back to your travel to Europe and such, I think that's a huge part, like early on in someone's life, 16, 17, 18 years old, you should be going overseas. You should be going and viewing how people live life in other countries, dude.
I agree.
You should be on your fucking own for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I reach a day where I have kids and hopefully I have a little bit of money, like that's what I'll pay for. Yo, I will pay for experiences. I'm not gonna buy you a brand new fucking M3 so you can drive to your high school and look like a cool little whatever, and then fucking end up wrapping it around a pole and then be like, buy me another one. No, I'm sending your ass to fucking Siberia, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree completely. I mean, at this point in my life, I don't give a shit about possessions nearly as much as I once did. All I want to do is epic shit.
Yeah,
you know,
experiences.
I live my life. I tell this to everybody. This is how I live my life. When I make a decision on when I'm gonna do something, I think about myself in the future as an old man on a fucking rocking chair on a porch, talking to my fucking grandkids.
Yeah,
I want to be able to tell them some cool shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking tell them, I got a job and I stayed in my house.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing. This is the reality right now. I'm 26.
I invested in my 401k.
I mean, that's great. I remember when I was in the Marines and they brought this guy in and he saved all this money through his career. And he's like, I'm 60 years old now. I'm a millionaire and life is great. But the only thing I got out of it was, man, you sound goddamn miserable. Like you say, your younger years, like you fucking were just, I mean, cool. You're 60 years old and you drive a Mercedes and you got a nice watch. Right. But like, I want to do some epic shit. You know?
Absolutely.
I mean, I think, I think living right now, I just want to do shit. That's why I got the job at the airport, so I could be able to travel.
Yeah,
the only problem is, I mean, it's not a problem. I love Carl more than anything in this world. Yeah. And I don't want to leave him, so that's why I'm not traveling as much as I used to.
I feel
and I know I already see how I am with Carl.
Yeah.
Hell, I don't even go out no more. You know, I don't go out. I don't go to bars. I don't go to clubs. I don't do anything like that like I used to when I was in my early 20s. I hang out with my dog. I sit in the garage. I play Madden. I watch a goddamn movie on Netflix. I watch Hocus Pocus. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Best movie ever.
It's a great movie.
And if I'm like that with him already, when I have kids, good luck ever seeing me again. I'm going to be with my kids 24/7 if I'm not working. That's just the reality of it. Right. If I'm not doing something to provide for my family, I'm going to be with my child. Carl's going to be next to me, and that's that.
Right.
You know, so right now I got to do some fucking crazy ass shit because I want them to do crazier shit, and I want them to be better than me.
Absolutely.
You know, just like my mom wanted for me. You know, when I complain about fucking working 12 hours a day, I think about my mom who's fucking 60 years old right now working 16-hour days. You know, busting her ass. She doesn't even need to. That's just what she does. Right. So when I complain, I don't fucking complain. You know, I have to take a step back and be like, what the fuck? You know, because my mom works harder than me still.
Yeah. Which is a shame, though, because in a way, and I think what you're essentially doing, too, though, is you're paying it forward. Where it's like, I saw how my mom is delaying life. You know, like, she's not going out and doing this epic shit. And it's like, damn, the best way that I could pay it forward to my mom or pay it back and pay it forward to my children is by adopting this philosophy of, yo, I'm going to live today. I'm going to live today for sure. And I really like what you talked about because I use that same analogy too. It's crazy. I'm always like, when I'm fucking 80 some odd years old sitting on my front porch in a rocking chair, you know, I want to look back and I want to say I did. You know what I'm saying? Rather than saying I could have.
I mean, dude,
so that's like the biggest thing that I say right now is it's like, I want to accomplish. I want to, I want to do things. So when something's presented to me of like, hey, do you want to do this? Yes or no? It's always, well, the majority of the time is yes, I want to do this. Because like I said, and like what you said, later on, I want to be like, yo, this is my epic life. Like hang this up on a wall, this story, like fucking Bilbo Baggins. You know what I'm saying? Like him writing down his journey and passing it on to Frodo, who like Frodo then goes on his fucking crazy epic journey. You know, like you're setting in stone, this is the type of life you should be living, man. Like you should be challenging yourself, growing every single fucking day. You should be going out and doing some awesome stuff. Like thinking back, like, man, the crazy part too is like, especially for, you know, individuals like us, where going back to the beginning story, like, dude, we were fucking at rock bottom at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like I was fucking suicidal. I was looking at my gun on my fucking shelf at one point, like, yo, that thing's gonna probably end up in my temple at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like scared. I'm not saying that I planned it out or anything, but just scared that that's what it was gonna be like. You know, because I'm sitting here in this crippling depressive episode and just having complete anxiety about the future in my life. And for me to escape that chasm, like I talk about, that depth, what a shame it would be to squander my life now. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like,
yeah,
damn,
no,
dude, like I want to tackle the world, bro. Every single day now. Like I wake up and I'm like, you know, I said this in the first episode. I was like, you know, not every single day do I wake up and I'm like, I'm going to go run a fucking marathon. You know, some days it's just like, you know what I'm going to take care of? I'm going to take care of cleaning the house, making my bed, doing my laundry, all this stuff. And like at the end of the day, being proud of that. Yeah. And then there's other days where it's like, yo, I got the fire. Like, I got the fire. I'm going to go run 5 miles. I'm going to fucking come back in here and I'm going to clean and jerk like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm going to go and shoot like 2 hours of video and podcasts and, you know, do all this networking stuff and all that crap. And then I'm going to plan a trip to fucking Europe when I got all this shit going on. Like, I don't know, man. That's far better of a lifestyle than before. And I think that's something I definitely want to live as like a model and a mentor for my children, and not just my children, but for other people that have found themselves in similar situations as we did, where it's like, man, like life sucked. Life legitimately sucked. And I looked at life as this like malevolent thing where it's like, man, I'm going to go out and I'm going to make all this money and then what's going to happen? I'm going to lose it all. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm going to get in this good shape and then what's going to happen? I'm going to get fat again. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I'm going to build myself up to be this good individual and then I'm going to fucking go crazy again and I'm going to get depressed. Like, that's not where my mindset is today. My mindset's like, I'm going to keep etching up this fucking mountain that can never be fucking conquered. And I'm going to plant my flag somewhere along that way, you know, when I reach whenever. And then that's going to be part of my story. So,
technical difficulties.
We got it. Back. Still trying to figure technology out. Dude, I'm the most tech-hearted individual possible. I am dense.
You know, I used to be really good with computers, and then I don't know what happened. Now I suck.
Yeah, right.
When I was a kid, I was like a little wizard. My mom would always, you know, if something's wrong with computers, she'd be like, I fix it, and that was that. And I taught it all myself, too. Now I go on a computer, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what to do. But to go back to what you were saying, man, like, I mean, yeah, for a while there, like we were talking earlier, man, I was like over 300 pounds. And
let's talk about that, man.
Man, I put on a bunch of weight.
What happened?
I don't know, man. Like, you know, just one day I woke up and was just like, fuck, life sucks. Right. And I couldn't really put my finger on why. You know, obviously I've been doing fighting for a while, but I haven't actually fought in a long time. And, the last time I fought, I lost. I got knocked the fuck out.
Oh, shit. I didn't even know that.
Well, yeah. By Leonard Smith Jr. But I train with Leonard now. I love Leonard.
Yeah.
He's like a brother to me. I would do anything to help him. We were very good. The nice thing is, all the guys I've fought, I have a good relationship with. We don't.
There's no animosity.
There's no animosity. Yeah. I don't try to take that into the cage. I mean, it
for
doesn't.
Sure. It's not a good fuel.
Yeah. So I, lock us in the cage. I'm gonna do my best to try and kill you. But as soon as the cage's door is open, give you a hug, and that's that. But, I lost, at that time I was on top of the world coming up to that fight. It was great. And that was years ago. I was on top of the world, and then I got knocked out. And, man, that sucked.
Were you still in the Marine Corps at this time or no?
Yeah, okay. I was in the Marines, and they didn't want me to fight. A lot of people don't know that. And this is no excuse or nothing like this, but the Marine, they were giving me all this stress. You can't fight this, and this. And it was just a big jealousy.
Yeah, for sure.
Power trip an asshole sergeant who didn't want to fucking, didn't want me to succeed. He's a fucking prick. He knows who he is. I don't need to say his name. I don't need to give him that. But stressing me out, and I was going through a breakup and all this shit, and I lost the fight, and none of that shit really matters. It is what it is. I lost, he won, and I respect him. And honestly, I think that's the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Because at that point, I shouldn't have been fighting as a professional. I was 22 years old. I was a young kid.
Yeah.
Guys don't turn pro in the heavyweight division until they're 28, 27, 28. I mean, now it's getting younger, but not necessarily. And that was the first time in my life, like, everything. Like, you really see how people treat you,
Absolutely.
When
you're at the lowest.
They ride the wave, when things are cool.
Yeah.
But then you lose. And you don't hear from people like you used to. They ain't checking up on you. They ain't trying to be your friend. You come home, they ain't talk to you. And, as I get older, it only gets worse. And that's fine. People start families. Their lives go on. I respect that. I understand that. I trust that. But at the same time, you do see how people act. And I thought that was good. I think that loss, looking back on it now, has really catapulted me. I haven't stopped. People think I have. They have no idea.
Yeah, for sure.
I may not train full time, but I have been in the game this whole time, whether it was in some sort of helping with a camp or like some sort of coaching or just, something.
You're still honing your craft.
I'm very active in the game. And, that's when I was really depressed. Man, I lost that fight. I didn't leave my room for 3 days.
Yeah.
I didn't eat. I could barely sleep. I was fucking depressed, man. That was like the first time I ever felt with true depression. Then I came back to work, and I have people talking shit to me, that don't like me, adding insult to injury.
Fucking trolls, yeah, absolutely.
I'm hearing stories about people talking shit about me, and you read those fucking comments, on the videos, and you're like, well, that guy sucks, and this and this, and at that time I'm like, man, fuck, like, that's when I was like, I want everyone to like me.
Yeah.
Now I'm 26, I don't give a fuck if you like me.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't care. I am who I am. I know I'm a good person.
Yeah.
I know I do good shit. If you don't think that, well, fuck you, take a walk. That's as simple as that goes. But I was really depressed then. Then, I'm getting out of the Marine Corps, and then I'm like, man, my coaches weren't treating me like they were supposed to be treating me. I felt really, like, disrespected by that. So then I was just like, I'm going to take a step away, focus on getting out of the Marine Corps. I went through that, and that's when I went to Europe. Things were good. Momentum was getting good now. And then I came back from Europe, man, and I don't know what happened. I just fell off again. I hit this rut, and I just started eating.
Yeah, absolutely.
I eat, and I put on a bunch of weight. And as the biggest I ever was, the biggest I ever was, I saw my number on a scale, and I didn't weigh myself for a while because I just didn't want to.
Yeah, you knew it was bad.
I knew it was bad.
Yeah, for sure.
And I got on the scale, I was 315 pounds.
Jesus.
And most people are like, you were 315? I don't believe that.
Yeah, for sure.
As much as I want to. And it's weird. You look at yourself in the mirror, you always see the same person.
Right.
You don't really, at least for me. Right. I see the same person, whether I'm 210 pounds or 350 pounds. That's what I see. So I didn't realize how big I got. And I eat for comfort when I miss home. I go
for sure.
Get some food that reminds me of home.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put on some weight, but it's okay. Then I smoke weed. I do, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as you do it in a responsible fashion.
Uh-huh.
Everything is in moderation. I am not saying anybody should be doing it. You should definitely be an adult. You should be older, in my opinion, if you're going to. But it's responsibilities. There's things that go on with that. And I was doing that for a while, and I was eating, and I was using it at that time. I was using it for a way to escape, just being sad about. I don't even know, man. Sometimes you don't even know. You're just sad, and I got real big. I went to the doctor, and she's saying, it's all because you smoking weed, and because you're eating, and all that, and this is all that, and that's when I was like, man, fuck her. She's wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not it. She's like, I'm just sad. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And so then that's when I went on this hell-bent mission to get back into shape. And I did it the whole time completely high.
Yeah.
I lost 70 pounds. And I smoked weed the whole time. And at this time now Carl is just becoming a bigger dog. I can finally start walking. You can't walk them when they're young.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you
can't walk them distance.
Yeah, distance. I mean, now I've taken him on 10-mile walks. When we were out for Mike's fucking...
Silky hike, yeah.
Well, but when we were out for Mike's bachelor party, remember, camping? I went on like that long-ass walk in the middle of the night. Yeah, that was amazing. I always do that. He loves it. I love it. And pretty much all the weight he gained, I lost. So it's a win-win. You want to lose weight, get a dog.
Yeah,
get an active dog and take him on walks. Start walking. These people that say they can't lose weight and they fall in these ruts for a while, I was like, my biggest problem is that I would go balls to the wall, like right out the gate. And then I would be like, fuck,
balls to the walls on what?
Just on anything, on any type of training, trying to get on the fucking bike and fucking bike 20 miles, trying to get on the treadmill and run 5 miles.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge Marine Corps mentality.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to prove to myself again like what I was capable of doing at my peak fitness while I was in the Marine Corps.
But the best thing that could ever happen to me was getting Carl, buying a Fitbit,
mm-hmm.
and fucking tracking on these steps. So I was like looking around, because I would take Carl to the park, and I would drive him to the park, and the park is a fucking 3 blocks away. Right. And I'm driving to the park being a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah, for sure.
What the fuck am I doing? Walk my dog to the park, because I'm about to sit here and watch him run around while my fat ass sits in a chair,
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
So then I started walking to the park, and then I noticed all these Asian people are walking around. And they live forever. Not listening to some racist thing. It's just the truth. They live longer than most people.
Racist.
And that's a compliment.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, man, they're always walking. They're so, and they're in good shape. And they're like older. I'm like, man, I need to be like this. So I start walking. And then I started researching, like, everyone's got these Fitbits, so I'll try this fucking Fitbit out. I got a Fitbit, man. At first, I set my goal. I was barely walking 5,000 steps a day, which is fucking nothing.
Right.
But the average American, believe it or not, walks like 3,000 to 5,000 steps a day.
No shit.
And they say for a healthy person, they walk. Like an in-shape person, the average is 10,000.
Right.
So I've pretty much forced myself to walk 20,000 steps a day because I'm twice the size of an average human being.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to work twice as hard as an average human being.
Yeah.
So Carl walks at least 5. It's 10 miles, of roughly 10 miles that I walk a day, and that's why I got the job at the airport because I'm walking constantly.
Yeah, you're always
picking up bags, and then I'm going to train. I'm going to jiu-jitsu. I'm going to Muay Thai. I'm going to MMA. I'm doing my strength and conditioning. I'm probably honestly moving 15 miles a day because I know that shit gets counted. I don't wear my Fitbit when I train.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you got to take it off.
Yeah, so that's how I lost the weight. And that really helped me, but even then you still deal with things. I've had some financial issues, and it's not always easy. A couple months ago, luckily I was able to figure some shit out and get things together, and things are good now. I got a good job, and I'm, training, getting ready to fight again now, here in a couple months. I'm super excited about it. I've since I've lost, I've had the opportunity to train alongside, at the time, heavyweight champ Fabricio Verdum. I've trained with Josh Barnett, Chet Congo, legends in the game, Randy Couture, I met Randy Couture. I had to talk with him. It was a great talk. And he's a veteran, you know, and he works with emerging veterans and players. That's how I met him.
Yeah.
And that's a great program. You know, they're a great program. I think more veterans should use them. Right now they're in Vegas and in LA. In Denver, Noel, they run those. And they're great guys. They're so welcoming. You know, they'll do anything for you. And I think that's something that's really good. And that's how I was able to meet Randy and talk to him for a little bit. And that was just great. And now I've got some, you know, I've trained alongside Curtis Blades, who right now is 11th in the world. And I have no doubt in my mind he'll be heavyweight champion within the next couple of years. So big guy from the south side of Chicago. I've wrestled with him in high school. We grew up going to tournaments, seeing him at tournaments and shit. And he's the real deal, man. That fucking guy puts his hands on you. He's like a fucking bear. He's a bad motherfucker. And I'm excited, you know. It's been an honor to be part of his journey, you know. And he'll be a part of mine. And, you know, hopefully there'll be a couple of Chicago kids around the heavyweight game sometime soon. You know, that's the goal. So, I mean, I think... you know, I still battle with it. I get, you know, some days are good, some days suck. Some days I wake up, I want to, like you said, attack the world. And I think the thing you hit the most, you said something earlier. The goals you set when all right, well, fuck, today kind of sucks, but I'm still gonna make my bed. I'm gonna get up, clean my room. Right. You know, those little victories are still huge. Absolutely. You know, I try to do that same thing, like. Say I'm not going to train today because I just not feeling it, you know. Like today I'm not going to train because we're doing this.
My energy's depleted. My body's telling me no.
I just worked, you know, 60-hour work week. I need to take a day and just chill. And that's what we're saying. Like, we'll come here, we'll do the podcast today because, you know, tomorrow I'll get back to training, get back to work, and, you know, and so I got a day off. And, you know, I think, like, I hit a rock bottom for a while, and I think martial arts, jiu-jitsu, you know, Muay Thai, grappling, I've wrestled, you know, since I was in 8th grade, going into high school. There was this family that lived a couple blocks from me, the Friazes. Joel was my same age. We were on the bus stop together. He was a wrestler, a little guy, 103-pounder, and I was the big kid. And they're like, man, you should get into wrestling. It'll really help with football. God bless those people, man. They changed my life.
Yeah, for sure.
They would drive me to the camp. They pretty much, you know, they're such an inspiration. They have no idea. I wouldn't be anywhere in my life right now if it weren't for them.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy how, like, something at, like, 13 years old, I'm 26 now, 13 years later, is pretty much my life. Wrestling, you know. I've wrestled all over the country. I've had the chance to wrestle with Olympians, see some of the best wrestling in the world up close and personal. And I think that shit now has changed my life. I mean, that's how I deal with my depression.
For sure.
I train.
So that's an outlet.
That's my outlet. I train. Sure. And I think a lot, I mean, I'm a big advocate. I try to get everyone to do jiu-jitsu. I don't even do jiu-jitsu that much. but I see the benefits of it. I see how much it helps people. And I'm not trying to tell people to fight.
Right.
Because no normal person wants to fight. That's the reality. You know, you have to have something in you that you fight, because no normal person wants to get hit in the face for a living. No, there is something.
But you know that jiu-jitsu is completely different. Than
jiu-jitsu is completely different.
It's like a dance, dude. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be smart. This is the thing I hate about, you know, you tell people you're a fighter and you do this and they look at you like you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with being a veteran. It's the same thing. They look at you like you're fucking crazy.
Right.
You know,
join the military or whatever.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, no, man, like, doing jiu-jitsu, like, I see the effects. My cousin's doing it right now. He's 38, and he just got into it, and he loves it. And it's just so cool to see him grow. Like, it's like, he's like, he'll call me after practice, tell me how it's going, and I'm so happy. I'm like, yeah, this is sick. I'm trying to get my sister to do it, too, now. She's a little more hard-headed.
I'm a firm believer, though. I'm a firm believer that I honestly believe that everyone should do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
we're the only species on the fucking planet that doesn't have an innate self-defense mechanism.
It's the best self-defense.
I agree.
All the other shit, people want to learn boxing, want to learn how to fight. You know how many fights stay on the feet?
Yeah.
They stay on the feet for 30 seconds and then they're on the ground.
Absolutely.
You know, any like street fight I've ever seen.
If someone's gonna rape you, are they gonna stay standing up?
No,
they're gonna try to put their dick in you on the ground. You gotta fucking learn how to like get yourself out of there, submit somebody that way. You know what I'm saying? Move your body to get away.
Jiu-jitsu is so beneficial. It's so good for your body. I mean, you've seen it. You see these old. I love them. They're the elderly men that come in. They still grapple.
Absolutely.
You know?
Well, there's something even more so that I like to think about. I got into jiu-jitsu when I was at like the lowest of the low. I was still super depressed. Much like what you're talking about too. Like I was a stud physically. High level CrossFitter. You know, I was a force recon dude for a while. Counter intel dude. I was like pinnacle of fucking pinnacle. You know, like deadlifting 650, 700 pounds, back squat, all sorts of crazy shit, right? Snatching close to 300 pounds. And then this depression hit me, and I was just like, bam, right? Crumbled. Just
you don't want to do
crumbled.
shit.
Well, you know, I would say there's a belief system that I have with PTSD too, that I think that it doesn't just, it not only attacks your mental capacities, but I think it does something to your central nervous system as well, where it completely shuts down your central nervous system because you're just using up so much energy for survival mode. So you can't sustain that high level of athleticism that you're at before. It almost like crumbled me down. And that depression just like, you could see it in the way that my body stood. I was like rounded and just completely like pulled down. But I'll tell you, getting back into jiu-jitsu, one, I was scared as fuck, right? Because that wasn't my territory. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a fighter. I was used to being the king of the castle in CrossFit. So I had to start something completely new. I had to be a white belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, talk about being a white belt. Like, your ego is just fucking tanked, right?
Yeah.
And then you're in there and it's like fucking fish out of water, bro. I'm the super strong. Well, I was super strong. And I grab hold of people, right? Trying to hold them. And they just fucking do this simple move, get on top of me. And I couldn't push these guys away. I couldn't do anything. And I'm sitting here panicking, right? I'm having like these internal panic attacks where I start breathing super hard. I'm like, fuck, this is crazy. You don't realize like someone who's decently trained or just somewhat trained, like how easy it is for them to manipulate and put you in a world of hurt. And pretty soon I just realized like, damn, like I'm fighting myself. You know, like, yeah, dude, I just started realizing, like, I'm fighting myself. I'm running away from myself and all this stuff. And it drew me to just keep going and keep getting better. And every single time I'd find myself in this panic mode, it's just like meditation. You know, when I first started meditating, like, I wanted to run away. I'd sit there and all of a sudden everything would get quiet and still, and I realize I'm all alone in a room. And I'm like, yo, some shit's going to come at me. You know what I'm saying? Something's going to come up and get me, all this other stuff. And like, I wanted to stop and I wanted to run out of the room and I wanted to move and I wanted to get away and run to my binky. You know what I'm saying? Like, distract myself. But then I learned like, next day when I'd start my meditation, I'd start jiu-jitsu. Like, you're going to survive this, bro. You're not going to die. You're not going to get hurt. You know, just endure this and keep getting better and keep getting stronger. And man, there's so many things I could talk about with this. Like, after a while, I learned how to transmute or transfer this energy, this negative energy that was coming at me, and with very little effort, be able to like block it and move it into the trajectory that it needed to go to best serve me. Like, dude, that's jiu-jitsu. That's meditation. You know what I'm saying? Like, that it is a meditation. It's a flowing meditation. And shit, man. It was such a fucking godsend, dude. It literally I don't want to be too dramatic and be like it saved my life, but damn.
I bet it saved a lot of people's lives.
That's what I hear too. I hear a lot of people say it a lot.
I mean, there's an Instagram page that's very well followed. That is Jiu-Jitsu saved my life.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
And I believe it. You know what I mean? And I mean, I say this all the time. There's two things that have saved mine. It's fighting in some facet, being in that game, and Carl. You know, those two things to me have really helped me, you know, become the person I am. Yeah. And I think, like you said, like fighting, you fail every day when you fight. You know, you get your ass beat every goddamn day in some way. If you're not getting your ass beat, you're probably in the wrong gym.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so
it's that struggle, bro. Just like we're talking about, that struggle creates growth.
And if you're fucking, you know, the king of the castle in your gym, you probably should go somewhere else to want to be better than the next guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
there's always something out there that's why
I like martial arts. That's why I think it's so beneficial, and I think I've learned more. Like I was going to college for a while. I was trying to go to USC, get in the film program. Mm-hmm. It's the number one program in the country.
No shit.
And I could have done it, but I'd rather get a degree of fighting, man. I learned just as much doing that. You know, meeting people. You learn so much more about yourself, and I love. Right now, I'm focused on that. I'm focused on traveling, like we were talking about earlier, hanging out, raising my dog, and you know, doing my best to be the best fighter I can.
Well, there's something else too that you brought up. I wish we could go back. I want to talk about one thing real quick, and then we'll go right back to it.
You're good.
But dude, you know what else? Good. You know what I realized about jiu-jitsu and fighting is. It's much like what I'm trying to develop right now, and just having these one-on-one personal conversations with men and veterans and people that have had traumatic histories and pasts. Like, one of the best healing techniques is being with your brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, like brotherly love, man. There's just something about like being with the tribe and being with the boys. You know, and that's what fighting really is it's us in a way to get like this physical aggression out for us to become more vulnerable.
Oh,
it like chips away big time at that kind of facade of masculinity that we kind of have within our culture, where it's like we can't cry, we can't have emotions. You know what I'm saying? We can't be forgiving. We can't be empathetic. And I mean, shit, like look where we're at right now. Like you and I are some pretty masculine dudes, dude. We've done some pretty gnarly shit. We've gone to fucking war. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. You know, and we fight and we scrap and we do all this other stuff. But dude, like at the end of the day, we're doing it to like to be, I guess, I want to say stewards to like better men. Like we're trying to teach men that it's okay to like touch another man and be vulnerable with that other man. That's really like what that fighting is. Like especially with jiu-jitsu. I mean, dude, you're getting dudes nuts draped all over your face at times. You know. You're fucking sweating, you're breathing in each other's ears. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing some really fucking intimate shit, believe it or not. And afterwards, you just sit there and you just have these fucking amazing conversations like we're having right now, where you just get to know the other individual and you learn so much that these people... You learn that these people have been through hardships in life very similar to where you're at. And they just keep going into the gym every single day, and it's another tool that's helped them get there. And you know, it's like being around the tribe and being with the elderly, then being with like the alpha males kind of deal, like the prime time males, and then them passing the torch to you. It's just this total lineage of, you know, reaching your hand forward and reaching your hand back. Everyone, you know, it's a community. So that's pretty wild too, man. I just really see the benefits of for men to go in there.
I think. The thing I love about fighting, too, to go off what you said, too, is there ain't no hiding when you stand in front of somebody.
Damn.
You know,
that's fucking true.
You really find out who that person is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's circumstances, but I think more so when you're training with a guy every day, and you see you really are finding out who that person is, because you see how they act. You know, when they train and when they fight, and it's interesting, you know, and it's
for sure.
There's no hiding.
No,
there's no hiding out there on those mats. There's no hiding out there in that cage. There's no hiding out there in a fight. You know, that's who you are, and
there's no line.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
it's an interesting thing, and that's why I like fighting.
For sure.
And that's why but at the same time, I'm not an advocate. I don't think people should get in street fights and shit.
Right.
I'm not perfect. I've been there, but that's for another time. And but I don't know, man. It's jiu-jitsu and fighting and some sort of combative sport. I think is very good I like to think of myself, as being an infantry marine, veteran, and, now learning this type of, these backgrounds, the jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, and having wrestled, for over 10 years now, and it's impacted my life greatly. And I, it's funny, in the past they have the Spartans and they have all that, and the gladiators, and I like to think of myself as something along those lines of this time
for
era.
sure.
And I'm a kid from the south side of Chicago who left his home, who misses his home every day of his life. My family has no idea how much I wish I could be there. But at the same time, they understand that I'm out here trying to do something bigger for all of us. I want to do something good in this world. And I can't do it if I'm just sitting in my neighborhood,
right?
My whole life. I've got to go out and I've got to fail all the time. And I've got to experience things, and I've got to do these things, because if I don't, even if I fail, I can always go home.
Right.
But the opportunity to live in San Diego, California, to train with some of the best instructors, some of the best training partners in the world, to work in a beautiful job and have the ability to travel, and I'm blessed. How could I ever complain? That's the biggest thing with depression, is it makes you complain, it makes you bitch and moan and blah, blah, blah. But now I realize something, and then this isn't every day, but, someone posted this the other day. I was reading, they're like, you woke up, you ate a meal, you got a roof over your head. Why the fuck are you complaining? And that's some true shit. People think that we have it tough. We don't have it tough in this country. Oh my God. These other countries, this shit happens to people. It's insane.
Right.
It's so sad. And, it's like, I am just fortunate to be where I am, but I want to be bigger. And like I said, I want more for my family. I want more for my friends that have been there with me since day one. I'm a big guy on I want to take everybody with me. I know obviously that's not going to be the case, but I want to take over the world, man. I want to be a good fighter, but I want to be good. I want to be like big, be able to give people jobs. I want to produce.
Yeah, I feel you. Absolutely.
I always joke and say I want to run for president.
Yeah.
I would fucking really run for president and change some shit. Everyone would probably hate me though. I don't know. Everyone hates the president. So
no one likes the king. They just obey him.
But I would try to do some cool shit. I would try to do the right things, But I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I'm off on a tangent now.
Hey man, fucking let it flow. I want to steer you back to one thing that you talked about, because you're like, these are like the four main things that I focus on. I focus on fighting, Carl, and I forgot the other two, sorry.
Traveling and my family.
Yeah, traveling and family. One thing I do want to talk about, we spent a little bit of time on this where, we talked about where you got into a depressive episode, and then like the number one thing that went by the wayside was your health.
Yeah.
And it's easy, because that's an easy one to let go, right? Especially like look at our society where it's so easy. Every fucking corner,
man,
dude.
Dude,
I drive by Chick-fil-A every fucking day, and I'm just like, God damn it.
It's like, so easy.
I want to go and pull in that motherfucker. Eat. For some reason, putting goddamn pickles on a fucking chicken sandwich just makes it so good. Yeah. I'm like, I want to eat that fucking Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
And, when we're in that depressive episode where it's like, fuck, even just like, you sit there and you think about making healthy food, you're like, God damn it doesn't taste that good. I got to pull out the skillet. I gotta pull out the fucking blender. I gotta pull out this shit. I gotta peel the fucking vegetables. I gotta cook it. I'm hungry now. It's gonna take 45 fucking minutes. Then I gotta clean up the mess afterwards and all this shit. And it's like, dude, you just talk yourself completely out of it. And you're like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to fucking Chick-fil-A. I'm gonna get 2 of those goddamn sandwiches and some waffle fries. Oh, Chick-fil-A sauce. Fucking just, love it. And then a fucking, what's it called? Cookies and cream, fucking milkshake, like done. Fat and happy afterwards. You got your fucking, and this is where I'm going with it, is that shit is your body looking for, it's an addiction, bro. It's a complete and utter fucking addiction.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree with that.
In that state of mind, like why you're depressed is one, like I think it's one spiritually. I think there's something going on internally. It's a spiritual disconnection from you and yourself and like what other people are telling you. It's the fight between dark and light, like I like to talk about. But there's also a lot of biochemical shit that's going on in that time frame where I don't know if you were on meds at all.
Oxytocin.
Dude, you got the oxytocin. I would say the biggest are dopamine and serotonin.
Yeah, serotonin.
Right?
That stuff plays a part in the psyche of how you act as a person.
They're starting to learn that dopamine and serotonin more so are starting to come from the gut. That's where the production of it is starting to come from, right?
I believe that.
So that's why I'm such a fucking, I do not advocate pharmaceuticals, because where does it digest?
I hate taking medicine.
Dude, you're telling me.
I don't want to take medicine.
So my big thing with that is that's killing your natural production, and it's killing stuff in the gut that helps you to be able to upregulate yourself. And it's just easy, man. When we eat that food, you said it, man. You're like, yo, there's just some days where I'm homesick and I just got to go and eat some home food from Chicago or whatever, and it just bumps me back up. Dude, what that is, that's a hug.
It bumps me back up, and then an hour later I'm like, why the fuck did I eat that shit?
Thank you. Dude, that's exactly where I'm going with this, man.
You
get your little hug.
You get a height and then you drop. So
yeah, bro. You get your hug, dude. You get your hug, which is the dopamine. And then afterwards...
And for the record, I don't eat that healthy still. I don't want people to think I'm some vegan or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, definitely
veganism isn't exactly healthy either.
I eat what I eat. I burn a shit ton of calories a day, so I can afford to eat a little. But should I? Probably not. But I'm not perfect.
Absolutely.
Nobody is.
Well, I think that...
I try my best to monitor.
Health is a journey. Health is a journey, for sure. I think it takes a long time for you to learn who you are, especially so here's the thing, man. I'm 32. I turned 32 years ago. And the second I turned 30 is when everything hit the fan and my hormones and my just metabolism completely fucking tanked, right? There's a big change around that time frame of 30 where your body it shifts gears for some reason. It's instead of the short-term short burst, it lowers gears down for you to just go down into you start preparing for the marathon of life is what I consider it. So I had to change a lot of stuff, and I had to learn a lot about my own health at that point in time and learn how hormones operate and how it affects my perception of reality and my happiness level and such. So, yeah, man, I think health is a huge thing. It's one of the biggest things that I want to try to bring to people as well.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
But
I'll jump right back to it.
I said this earlier offline, is that right now, I spare no expense when it comes to my health.
Yeah.
Now,
because you've turned it back into a priority is where I'm going with this.
Before I can't really afford to pay this gym membership. I'm going to freeze it.
Right.
And it's what the fuck is wrong with me? Those are the things I do not need to be freezing.
Exactly.
I need to be in the gym.
Exactly.
I need
So that's where I'm going with this. Exactly what you're talking about. When you're in these depressive episodes, it's easier for you to go and eat junk food and spend money on that rather than get that gym membership and say, man, I got to get my ass up today. I need to fucking work out. My goal this week is to work out 3 times this week, because I know at that point in time, it's going to start getting me into a better situation for me to start feeling better about myself. All these people that are talking about fat shaming and stuff like that, that they're fucking unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? That they don't feel good about themselves. That they don't feel good about life or they're happy. Their biggest thing is they want an excuse from other people for them to not work out, for them to not put themselves through the struggle and such.
My whole life, since I was 14 years old, I've been fat and I've been skinny. I've been fat and I've been skinny and somewhere in between the whole time because of wrestling and just because of being a partying kid and being a football player and
extremes.
Doing all sorts of crazy shit. And as I'm 26, I see my metabolism is changing. I can't afford to be putting on weight because it gets harder to come off the older you get. And my biggest thing is everyone wants to go on these nutrition kicks, and that's great, and I respect that, and it's totally fine. But I think people make losing weight way too scientific. I'm just a firm believer in calories. Count your calories. Know how much you're putting out versus how much you're putting in, and you'll be all right. You may not look like a fucking statue, but I think you'll be all right. And at least for me, that's how I was able to lose the weight. And then once those things, once I start seeing the weight come off, and now I'm feeling better, and I'm standing with my chest out again, and I'm feeling more confident, and then now I'm going back to strength and conditioning. And now my big thing now is where before I would get sad or I would get depressed and I would eat. Now I just go on a bike ride.
Right.
I put on my headphones, and I'll bike 10 miles real quick.
Right.
And I get back, and I feel so much better because now I'm in the sunlight.
Right.
You know, I got the sun raining on me. I got some music. All that's releasing the oxytocin
For sure.
in your in your brain.
Yeah.
And that feels so much better. You know, going to jiu-jitsu, doing all that. I mean, like that's why I said go back to what we were saying. That's why I think that shit is so pivotal.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a really good outlet for anybody, not just.
Well, the biggest thing though, man, just to really, really bring it home, is you made a choice.
Yeah.
You made a choice. You said, you know what? I'm no longer going to make excuses for me to live this life of being 315 pounds. Yeah. I sat there being a victim in my own right of me being sad. And I've tried every other form of trying to make my sadness go away. Right? It was like, I'm going to smoke the weed. I'm going to eat. I'm going to lay here. I'm not going to work out. Right? Because that stuff is hard. It hurts. It reminds me of my failures, you know what I'm saying? And you found yourself in this position where you're like, dude, I am completely unhappy now. Like, I've just went down this road. Like, you kept going down and further into the chasm, like I like to talk about. And then you're like, fuck this, dude. I'm making a choice.
Yeah, it's right around.
I realized that my health, no matter what, needs to come as my fucking priority, whether it be mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual. Health is going to be my number one priority.
I mean, now I have to do something physical. If I'm like not tired, I get up and become tired because like I was just home, and for like 2 days I couldn't really do shit because it was in the wedding, you know.
Yeah.
I love Skylar, and congratulations, like a great wedding.
Yeah.
But it was great to be a part of it. I had a great time. It was fantastic. Happy to see him happy, and it's great. But you know, I didn't get really much chance to do any physical activity, you know, because I was occupied. And so then I went to the Cubs game the next day. It's my cousin's birthday, and the next day I woke up and I was with my buddies and we were eating, and then I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna go for a walk. And like, where are you gonna walk to? And I'm like, I'm just gonna walk down the lake. And I walked like 15 miles. I walked from Wrigley Field to Soldier Field, which is pretty fucking far. I went to Navy Pier. I went all the way down the lake, went to Navy Pier, went up the Chicago River. For anybody that lives in Chicago, they know this. If they don't, it's kind of far. Soldier Field, hopped on the train back to the south side, got off at Midway, walked to White Castle, decided I was tired, ate some White Castle.
How is that shit, by the way?
Oh, I love it.
It's good?
It's amazing. People who talk shit on White Castle, you don't know what you have until it's gone.
Yeah.
You know, and we got White Castle out here, so we enjoy some White Castle, and I'm like, oh man, I'm tired, I'm gonna take an Uber. But I decided to take an Uber like halfway to my house.
Yeah.
And I walked through a neighborhood I grew up in, and then I was disappointed in myself later because I was like probably a mile away, but I was on like mile 15, man, and I was like, fuck this, I'm calling an Uber.
Yeah, for sure.
And went home and went to sleep.
Good man, yeah, absolutely.
It was good. I mean, I like now I have to do something physical. I mean, today I already made up my mind. As soon as we're down here, I'm gonna go to the gym and go swim a mile. And that's my biggest thing with losing the weight is that people think they need to run.
Right.
You know how many times I've ran since I lost 70 pounds?
Oh, nice.
0.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
I don't fucking run. Mm-hmm. I mean, God bless people who run, but I was in the infantry. I was hiking all the goddamn time. I hate running, man. Right. That shit fucking sucks. I mean, I need to run when I'm in camp. I'll run, but for now, I swim.
Right.
You know, for a while, I was swimming a mile every other day, and that's fucking like running 4 miles. You know, and that's on top of walking the 10 miles a day. You know, and I try to at least swim 2 miles a week. Swimming's another thing because you ain't got music. It's just you in the water.
There's something amazing about that.
And like that's something that's like really you're in your head when you're swimming. You have like to think. That's where my mind races when I swim. Just like when you talked about meditating. I don't do much meditating, but I did a sensory deprivation tank. You know about that.
Absolutely.
And that's when I meditate. You know, I'll do it for 2 hours. I'll get in there and do that shit for 2 hours. And for people who don't know what that is, you get in this big tank. It's filled with salt. You float.
Salt water, yeah.
Salt water. You float in it. and you take away all your senses, so you can't see. It's pitch black. I put earplugs in, so I can't hear anything either. And you just float there, and you're just caught in your mind, and you just meditate, man. It's crazy, you know. It's,
you let go of everything. You don't even realize you're floating there. It's almost
Yeah.
like being in space, where you're just like, your body is allowed to kind of let go of its. You're letting go of gravity. So in a way, it allows like you to expand. Like your feelies right now, everything, all this pressure pushing against you goes away. So it like enhances your existence. It's weird to say it that way, but you're just able to kind of hone in on like one key aspect of yourself, and I think that's just consciousness.
Yeah, whenever I have like a thought on my mind, like I just go there and like I really think, and for me, it, you know, I make a lot of decisions doing that, you know.
Yeah, I noticed that about swimming too.
And swimming is kind of like that. I mean, It's not as
deep,
extreme,
right?
But swimming for me has really helped me, you know.
Well, I mean, you know, for the veteran listeners out there, I think one of the biggest things is, especially, you know, with the Marine Corps, dude, we just had it hammered that we had to do everything extreme all the time. You had to run, right? Because getting on an elliptical is for a bitch, or getting on a bike is for a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, machines. What's that?
I love those machines.
That's what I'm saying. Now it's like, you know, especially for those that are like, if you're listening to this and it's like, damn, yeah, I want to get back into fitness. I need to start focusing on my health and making it a priority. Don't go out there and try to fucking run 3 miles. Don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, go run an 800.
Walk.
Nice and easy.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what?
People all the time, they want to lose weight, and they're talking about, you know, since I've lost the weight again, people have asked me, you know, how you do it, and I tell them all the time, just start walking.
Yeah.
Buy some headphones.
Yeah, baby steps, man.
Start listening. I mean, I walk, I listen to podcasts.
Right.
You know, so I'll walk forever listening to a podcast. I mean, I listen to music too. I've been listening to music when I ride my bike.
Right.
You know,
a little bit more of a tempo.
A little more of a tempo. When I walk and listen to my podcast, Carl's loving it, I'm loving it, and you know, it's good to get the vitamin D from the sun.
For sure.
That's how people should start. You know, everyone wants to start, like I said, and I make that mistake too. You know, you're running, running yourself into the dirt, baby steps. Baby steps. Said this right now.
See, I'm still extreme. I'm like, hey, run an 800. Fucking absolutely walk, man. Get a bike.
I mean, I think it's far more beneficial for me to walk 10 miles than it is for someone to fucking half-ass their way through 2 miles in the morning before work, or, you know, on lunch or something. Right. I think me walking 10 miles strong at a good pace is going to burn, and it's proven that it burns calories, you know, just as high as running when you walk long distances, because it's that slow burn.
For sure.
It's not that quick.
It's going to be targeting fat better.
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing. I mean, I've always had a big stomach. I still have a big stomach. It's just the way my body, my physique is. But I mean, this is the smallest it's been in years.
Yeah.
And, you know, my waist and everything, you see my legs are big now from all the walking I do. Carl's a fucking muscular dog. He's in great shape. And everything I'm at right now is started from, you know, I'm in the best shape I've ever been. I was 265 pounds in the Marine Corps. I was big, lifting a ton of weight, and physically just meathead. And I think I would kick the fuck out of that version of me now, physically. My body, I you know, and it's all because, to go back to what you said, I needed to take by taking my nutrition, my health more seriously, it's changed things a lot for the better.
Right.
Like I said, when it comes to my health now, I spare no expense. People who complain about paying money for food, well, that's what you need. You know? You don't need to pay for Netflix. You need to pay for food.
Right.
You need to pay.
You don't have to go out and buy a brand new pair of fucking Jordans or boots or whatever. Invest some money into. For me, dude, I'll open up a little bit too. I was the heaviest I've ever been in my life 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I was 262 pounds. And I've been.
How much I weigh right now? I'm at 250, but yeah. No, I'm 6'3".
I was just seeing it. So, I've been struggling for the last year and a half to really get myself back down to a physique that I feel healthy and happy in, where I don't have to worry about so much of like my eating and stuff. And there was some definite eating patterns in there that I needed to get rid of. But, I got to a point now financially where I was just like, you know what I need to do? Exactly what you just said. I need to invest some money into finding out the proper knowledge necessary for understanding myself better. So, I'm a pretty prideful person when it comes to understanding fitness and health and nutrition. But I also had to look and say, damn, dude, like all the research that you're doing, like you're missing some key ingredients. You're missing something. Like you understand the ingredients to the recipe, but you don't understand the right measurements, right? So I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm gonna get a nutritionist. Yeah, dude. So I got a nutritionist last month, and I went and I interviewed him. I was very, very strict about who I was gonna allow to be my nutritionist. They had to understand exactly what I was, and like, long story, I'm sure, but dude, he and I just kind of clicked. Dude's a maniac. I love it. Shout out to Justin. But yeah, dude, he's like, all right, bro, like you're a fucking mesomorph, bro. You like, here's how things are. You're 32 years old. You're no spring chicken. Your resting metabolic rate is here. We got to look at this and we got to see how your testosterone production is, especially because of the medication. Like, dude was just speaking my fucking language, right? And then all of a sudden he dropped the bomb. He's like, dude, what we're going to do is we're going to have to do like a ketogenic run with 2 isocaloric days and all this other stuff. And I was just like, mind blown. Like, hell yeah. Like, this dude is going exactly where I need to go with this. And like, no problem. I had no problem dishing out $200 a month at this point in time.
Yeah.
I was spending $200 a month going out and eating food.
Oh, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
easy.
What decision should I make here? I want to get healthy. Where should I invest my money? All right, take my $200. I was like, yeah, absolutely. So, I made that decision, bro. And I had tried the ketogenic diet before, months. I was ketogenic before, like I could feel it. Like, here's my plug for the keto diet. Everyone's gonna tune out now. Like, fuck, this guy's gonna drone on about this shit. But damn, dude, like, when you're ketogenic, when you're producing fucking ketones, like, my brain right now is just like functioning on a fucking different frequency. I'm like there's no crashes through my day. I'm just on this steady cruise, like this nice arc of energy, right? So I wake up, I feel good, I want to get out of bed. I'm like, dude, I'm rested. Like, get out of bed, go do something productive. Rock and roll. Get up around 10 o'clock after I have my first meal, I have a little crash, and that's when I know, all right, L-tyrosine and some caffeine, some B vitamins, boom, good. That's going to cruise me that's like my booster pack to get me out of the fucking atmosphere, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, I'm not facing any cravings, and I'm feeling good mentally. And I feel, so before, like what I was doing was I'd hit and I'd get into ketosis, but my calories, like, I was too nice to myself where I was like, oh, you can eat whatever because you're, ketogenic now. You're burning ketones, but I wasn't losing weight. I wasn't losing or burning fat off my body.
Yeah.
Because I was still putting too much calories into my body. Even for the amount that I trained, I was still putting too much calories into my body, and I didn't realize the balance that I needed. So yeah, man, I invested in this dude, and in 1 month I've lost 15 pounds so far. I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to go and do a DEXA scan here in another 2 weeks. I was 24% body fat, dude. I was 24% body fat at 262. That's fucking embarrassing to me. I looked at those numbers and I was just like, damn, dude, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I just kind of, I couldn't believe that I was that body fat percentage. I felt really, because that's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
What is it? 30% is obese?
I think it's 27 or 28.
Jesus Christ, dude. Look at that, bro.
I think, the lowest I've ever been is like 16.
Yeah.
Because in the military, it's you got to be under 18, and I always had to get taped.
Yeah, same here.
And I was on BCP. They put me on BCP.
Jesus.
And like, I was in like great shape, and everyone said it was bullshit. But you know how the military is; they just
don't make sense.
You.
Yeah,
they love you. They love it when I was in Afghanistan, and when Sergeant Major would call me war horse and shit, and he's like, you know, you're big, and you get back and you're in garrison, and they're like, oh, actually, by the way, you're a fat bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not saying I was the fucking most physically fit person. I mean, there were times in the military where I was overweight too.
Yeah,
but I was not like. To an extent where they had, especially at the time, like I was on BCP when I was fighting professionally at 205.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like
my height and weight standards, I think I had to be at like 193 or 197.
I actually, there's a fun fact. I was never in my 5 years in the military, including boot camp, was under the weight that I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I graduated boot camp at 220 pounds.
Jesus.
And I was supposed to be 213. They almost didn't let me graduate because I couldn't get the weight. They tried everything to get the weight off me. But I'm a big man. I'm not a small human by any facet. I have broad shoulders. I am a big man.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I mean, they let me graduate, but I have never been under that weight standard. And then the way they test the body fat is fucking bullshit too. There were fucking fat fuckers. And sorry, it's just the truth. But there were some fat motherfuckers that would tape out because their fucking neck was so goddamn fat.
Right. Or they were just like, they had this big gut and these chicken legs. So
yeah,
they would make the weight.
Or you get these fucking guys, and it's like when you're 6'3" and you got long arms, and it's like, oh, well, so whatever. I mean, now I'm 250 pounds. I'm 6'3". I'm 26 years old. I feel stronger. I feel faster. I feel better than I've ever felt, and I'm only just beginning this real, push to. I'm still a kid. I'm still a boy. I'm not a man yet. At least that's what my coach is telling me.
Uh-huh.
And, I think in a couple of years, especially with my strength and conditioning coach now, it's going to be a fucking scary sight.
Oh, yeah. Well, the key thing, too, though, is to just keep considering that health is your priority.
Oh, of course. I mean, now it has to be.
Absolutely.
It always should have been, but I lost sight of that. And it's easy to. You get caught up in other things, the stresses of having to pay bills.
Right.
The stresses of living situations, the stresses of everyday issues.
Finances, dude. Finances are a motherfucker. And, people
I don't ever want to be rich. I just want to be in a position where I don't have to worry about bills.
Right.
That's.
Well, I would say that's most people.
People want to be balling. They want to have houses on fucking oceans and shit. I don't give a shit about that. I just need a yard. Yeah, right. A garage to hang out in and fucking just hang out.
Enough money to be able to take care of the well-being of myself and my family.
I mean, like I was talking earlier. I mean, one of my short-term plans is to get an RV,
right?
Live in it, and fucking do my own podcast out of it. And travel.
Yeah, this is an introduction. This is our test trial right now to see how Kush likes doing podcasting.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm going to do one, it's just I'm a perfectionist, man, and I need to be a little bit less. I am very hard on myself. I want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
So, I think that's so. But I want to do it out of the RV. I want to travel the country in the RV. I want to do crazy shit with it. I want to make one last run before. Hopefully I have a family one day. I mean, I don't even have a girlfriend, so I don't even know why I'm thinking about that kind of shit. But I hope to one day.
Hey man, future, you're matching the now up to future Kush.
I don't want to be like a fucking grandpa dad or anything,
right?
So yeah, but I mean, right. But like I said, go back to what we were saying, and I want to do some more epic shit, and I think that would be good. But obviously my training too takes precedence. So. Right now, I'm just focused on fighting. Everything else will figure itself out. As long as Carl's happy, I'm happy. And I'm happy. I mean, you know what I mean.
So was there a key turning point? When you're at your lowest of your low, was there this key turning point? Do you remember like this kind of...
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was dating this girl.
I'm going to pee. You tell the audience what's going on.
Oh, man, you can't do this to me.
You sure? Oh, crap. We lost it.
What happened?
I gotta go get the thing. Keep going. I'm gonna
All right.
grab my cord real quick for that.
Yeah, whatever. I was dating this girl, and she was really cool. I really liked her, actually, because I don't really like most women I meet now. I don't know why. It's hard. In Chicago, I meet women I love all the time. In California, they don't like sports. I love sports. If you don't like sports, we're not going to get along. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
And but I was dating this girl, and she was real cool, and everything was going great. And then out of nowhere, she's like, I can't do this anymore.
Really?
And I don't know why, but for some reason, I don't really like, how do I put this? I don't hold grudges against people or anything like that. Like, hey, you make your decisions. Good luck. Hope it works out for you. And I wish no harm towards her or nothing like that. But at that point, I was like, man, this is bullshit. I need to get up and do something, and I'm just going to better myself. And for some reason, in that instance, for some God reason, this woman is listening to this. I thank her because I feel fantastic. I am in great shape. It turned me around, and hey, I can't knock that. So, hey, it's okay. Yeah, oddly enough, it's something so simple, something so small that
It's always a woman.
yeah, it just pissed me off. It just pissed me off. I was just like, fuck this. So I'm just gonna go out, and that's okay. It's all right.
Sorry about the confusion here, everybody. We just had some technical difficulties with the camera.
Is it recording?
No, we're not recording on the camera right now. We're recording on the microphone still.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably, and I don't want people to think I'm like, there's no like weird obsession with this movie. It's just that was the thing that was like, all right, I need to actually get up and really fucking, and so that's when I started losing the weight. And I was like, all right, now I feel good. I feel like I can train again, like full time. And I started getting back into training. I was training with Joey Beltran for a little while.
Yeah. And
he's great. He was in the UFC and he was in Bellator. He was one of my first coaches. I went up and trained with one of my old coaches, Sean Loeffler, and it's, it's good to train with guys you've trained with in the past. So, it helps you. It helps with your confidence, and those guys are tough. And, so I got to work with them. And then, everything since then, I trained with Alex Trafton. I love Alex. Alex is an absolute godson. That guy is great. He runs Krav Maga Academy in San Diego, and he is a contractor himself. He's a fantastic guy. He's got a lot of life experience, and he's one of those guys you follow into hell and back. I really, really like him. He's given me opportunities to coach at his school. Yeah, and he's taking care of me there, and he lets us come in and train. Doesn't no bounds. Lets us in, welcome with open arms. He trains under Eric Paulson, who I have trained under too, up in Fullerton, and catch wrestling. Combat submission wrestling up there, and So I don't know. I lost the train of thought. I'm sorry. I went off.
It happens. We were talking about that kind of come to Jesus moment where you're like, man, I wanted. You got the Titanic approaching the iceberg, and it's like, shit, we got to turn. We got to change course.
Oh, yeah. And
so that was from the girl mainly. She kind of...
not mainly. There's a lot of things, but that was the thing that was like, all right, I really need to get this shit together. And now I feel good. I feel confident. I'm doing well. And right now I'm so hell-bent on just taking care of my goals and getting shit done. And I'm all in on myself. I think for a long time I was living my life to help others, and I still live my life to love. I always say, if you're not doing something to make an effect on the world in a positive way, then what the fuck are you doing it? I firmly, but I do need to take some time to be selfish, to to take care of my shit, to get my shit together. And if people need to do that, people sometimes don't always do that. I'm a people pleaser. You know, I like to make people happy. I love to see people happy. But unfortunately, when you are that way, you get let down a lot.
Right.
And that is something in this instant that happened. You know, I got really let down. And that's when I was like, well, fuck this. I really need to just start worrying about myself and go into overdrive and really, really take care of business. And now I'm hell-bent on that. And, you know, something will come in the future. I'm not worried about it. I'm in no rush.
I think in that way, too, what is going to happen is you're going to attract someone in life that also has a very similar belief system, where she's not going to be the type of person that expects you to make her happy. She realizes that she needs to make her happy. And then you're just kind of like icing on the cake.
Yeah.
And you guys are both individuals. And you're both going to do whatever you can in order to help benefit each other, achieving each other's goals. It's crazy. This is my biggest philosophy in life now is you should be the most ethically selfish individual you possibly can be. That is, so we live in this strange time right now where everyone's trying to control other people. We have all these crazy fucking far left liberals. And I would even consider some of the right to be pretty crazy.
Oh, I think as someone said to me once, you know, it's like the horseshoe, or, you know, the far left you are and the far right you are, you end up meeting at fucking equal ground, you know, a
it's
big
a circle
of fucking craziness.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, there are people that are conservative that are fucking nuts. There's people that are liberals that are even fucking, they're nuts too.
Well, so my biggest thing with that, man, and this is one of the biggest things I want to talk about with this podcast as well as this. Dude, you want to know how you are going to help change the world? Dude, be the best version of yourself possible.
Oh, yeah.
Worry about fucking Oscar Kush.
Yeah.
Wake up every morning, make your fucking bed. You know what I'm saying? Wake up every morning with a checklist of shit you're going to take care of how you're going to be better. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you ever going to be able to lead a nation if you can't even fucking lead yourself? You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have is we have all these college kids going around now that are like, you need to do this, and we need to change this, and we need the government to control this. It's like, no, you know what you need to fucking do?
Grow a pair of balls and reach down and grab them.
Well, you need to me, honestly, stop worrying about everybody else. Yeah. Become the best version of yourself, right? Be the change you want to see in this world, and be a role model to other people to live that way as well.
I agree. Yeah.
That's the way we're going to change it. We're going to change it at the individual basis. Every individual should wake up every fucking morning saying, you know what? I'm a very Aristotelian, Randian type of person. You should read it, Ayn Rand, dude. You love it. It's very much like what we were talking about. But where if you chose every single day to make the right actions, because it's going to benefit you the most, and you're obviously not doing things unethically, and what I mean by that is taking advantage of other people or doing things to hurt other people, this world's going to be a great place. You know what I'm saying? Like, If you could wake up every morning trusting that every other individual in the world is going to pay as much attention to themselves, being the best version of themselves, you'd realize that there would be far less friction in this world today. You know? Yeah. And that's the key to happess. That is ultimately the key to happiness. You are controlling your own path to happiness, man. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's essentially where I'm at with life too. Is it's like I wake up every single day and I'm taking care of me. I have no expectation out there that other people are going to make me happy or other things are going to make me happy. Yeah. You know, like I'm saying today I'm taking care of my shit, and that's what's ultimately going to help me produce a lot less friction in my life, which is essentially happiness.
And that happiness will roll off on other people too. Just because you're being selfish doesn't mean it doesn't affect people. It just doesn't affect them directly. It still hits them vicariously, though. You know what I mean? So, but by doing better for yourself, you are doing better for other people because of your positive attitude. Because people don't want to you go to a retail store and fucking person's giving you attitude, and you're like, well, you're just goddamn miserable because you're working this. But you don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you're just trying to be like positive, it resonates with people. People enjoy that. You know? So, but it's not always easy. But it's definitely, I agree. You say you're trying to wrap this up or what?
I think so. I need to do a little bit of homework before I go to school.
Wow, yeah, do your homework.
Yeah, I gotta make a fucking family tree for my Spanish class. So I was just looking at the watch and I was like, damn, it's like fucking 12:10. I can't believe. We're just about to hit An hour and a half too.
Which Spanish are you in? Tell
Spanish
me more.
101.
Oh wow! So
yeah, I'm learning about La Familia, mi familia right now.
yeah, I took Spanish. I don't remember a word of it. You know, I mean, I do. I mean, I could definitely speak broken Spanish. You know, enough to get me by. But
some quesadillas.
That's learning another language is something I have no interest in.
It's not easy for people.
It doesn't. You know, I'll just go to other countries and smile, and that normally helps.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you're in Paris. No, Paris is all right. It's beautiful. I love it there. But I met one pretty girl there. She was really cool. But about that,
did she shave her armpits?
I'm not
You didn't get that far?
I don't know. But she was very pretty. That's all I met when I was in Europe was women. I didn't really talk to guys. It's not a bad thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's all right. It's what happens when you're a military man traveling alone. They automatically approach you, you know. So it's good. Good time.
I think I got to make my way out there, buddy.
I mean, I think every person needs to go on some sort of trip.
For sure.
Know, in their life, at a young age, needs to go alone somewhere. And even if it's fucking Canada, hey, just go ride that train through the forest for 4 days by yourself. You know, I don't know if you've seen that. I want to do that, actually.
That sounds legit.
Yeah, it's like a big open windowed train. It goes through like the forest. It's 4 days long. It's like $100.
Damn.
So I'm going to use my flight benefits, go to Canada and do that. And, but like, I think even something like that, it's just so beneficial, you know, to better you as a person. So in my opinion, I think it teaches you a lot. So I think you should definitely do it. I think you shouldn't plan too much.
No.
I think going in with not a plan, it really helped me because there was no expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and don't be willing to spare any expense when it comes to that because what are you going to spend the money on cheeseburgers when you get back? You know,
some bullshit.
I mean, I ate like a king when I was in Europe, and I lost weight while I was there because I was moving around.
I keep hearing that from so many people. I'm very interested to go.
Their food doesn't have all the preservatives like we do.
Right.
You know, there's all the food in America stuff with preservatives. You know, so it's like over there, it's a lot more natural. So and the food is so good. I mean, Italy. Oh God.
Yeah.
But you know, I picked up the worst habit in Amsterdam. And it's not weed.
Uh-huh.
It's putting mayonnaise on French fries.
God, no way, dude. That sounds so good.
Oh my God.
I used to hate mayonnaise, but dude, it's so good.
They have all these different flavors of mayonnaise, and they sell them in these like giant cones of fries. Yeah, we do need to cut. Carl, relax. You gotta get Carl. He's
let's do it.
All right.
Well, that was a good thing to end on. Some fucking mayonnaise and French fries. Man, too bad I can't eat that right now, but
if you don't care about your health, go for it.
Amsterdam, baby.
I'm a firm. Hey, if you got a cheat day, cheat away.
Hell yeah, man. Well, so hey guys, Oscar Kush here. He's looking to start his own podcast here pretty soon. He's a pretty big name on Instagram, anyway, right?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and give your handles out, man, for people to contact you.
Everything is the same. It's Ogre Patrick Kush, OGREPATRICK KUSH. Twitter. I got Instagram. I got Snapchat.
And we're looking to get a fight here pretty soon. Is that correct?
A lot of Carl content. I will hoping to fight early next year. Right now, my coaches we're focused on getting my weight down more, getting stronger, technically getting better. But you know, once this fight happens, it's gonna they're gonna start rattling off. Really, you know, I've tailored everything to be my job, everything in my life. It revolves around being the best fighter I can be right now. So we're going for it.
Hell yeah, man.
You know.
So keep an eye out for him. Follow him on Instagram, Twitter. You can look for him on Facebook as well, and be looking out for him to start a podcast. You might hear me over there too.
Oh yeah. The podcast is going to be called the Goat Alert.
Goat Alert Podcast.
It'll be pretty goofy, but I think people will like it. We're gonna have T-shirts and shit, so keep that in mind.
Hell
if
yeah!
you want to support, we'll give them away too.
Well, rock and roll, dude. Hey, thanks for joining me on the second War Within podcast. I appreciate it. I think we had a pretty good conversation today. Hey, everybody out there, please feel free. Let us know what you think. Keep on listening and pass it on.
Hey,
go ahead.
Leave negative comments, please. I love them.
Troll the shit out of us.
I live for the hate, so please, thank you.
Awesome. All right, everybody, take care.